The 6-day experiment that terrified scientists.
Within 48 hours, completely normal college students were psychologically breaking down, while others were becoming something nobody predicted. No drugs, no threats, no outside pressure, just one small decision. At the very start, they gave the guards mirrored sunglasses, so prisoners couldn't see their eyes, couldn't read their faces, couldn't make human contact, and that one small act of dehumanization unlocked something inside ordinary people that scientists are still trying to explain. This happened inside Stanford University, one of the most respected institutions in the world, with some of the most carefully selected participants in psychology research history, and it only took 6 days. 1971. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo has one question he cannot shake. Can a completely normal person turn dangerous simply because someone handed them power? To find out, he builds a fake prison inside the basement of Stanford's psychology building, recruits 24 young men, healthy, educated, carefully screened, nothing unusual about any of them. Then he flips a coin. Half become prisoners, half become guards. One random coin flip, that's all it took. Day 1 felt almost embarrassing. Guards awkward in their uniforms, prisoners laughing nervously, everyone slightly self-conscious. It looked like a school play, but something was already shifting. Beneath the surface, the guards were watching, noticing, quietly testing how much they could get away with, and then they found the answer. Everything. The punishments started quietly. Push-ups for small violations. Standing against walls for hours. Repeating prisoner numbers on command. Not names. Numbers. Strip someone of their name, and you've already started stripping them of their identity. And it worked faster than anyone expected. Within hours, the guards stopped acting like students playing a role. They started acting like people who genuinely owned other human beings. Then one guard said something that disturbed researchers for decades. He admitted he was surprised at how fast cruelty stopped feeling like cruelty, how fast it just started feeling like the job. That single confession reframed everything psychologists thought they understood about evil. Inside the cells, something different was breaking. Some prisoners went completely silent, emotionally hollow, like they'd quietly switched themselves off. Others couldn't contain their anxiety anymore. And on just the second day, one prisoner snapped, screaming, shaking, crying uncontrollably. The researchers assumed performance, a tactic to get released early. He wasn't performing. He was collapsing. After just 36 hours, they removed him from the experiment. And instead of that being a warning, the remaining guards treated it as confirmation. This is real. We actually have power here. And they used it. Prisoners were humiliated publicly, deliberately, in front of each other. Some were isolated completely. Others were pushed through psychological routines designed to destroy any sense of control they had left. And one by one, the prisoners stopped resisting. This is the part most people miss completely. The guards never had to force submission. The prisoners handed it to them. Because after enough psychological pressure, they stopped thinking of themselves as students inside a study. They started believing they were actual prisoners. The role didn't just change their behavior. It replaced their identity. But the single most disturbing moment of the entire experiment didn't involve the guards or the prisoners. It involved the scientist, Philip Zimbardo, the man who designed the experiment, who was supposed to be the objective observer, started changing too. His notes shifted. His language shifted. His instincts shifted. When prisoners showed genuine emotional distress, his first thought stopped being, how do we protect these people? It became, how do we maintain order? The researcher had become the warden. The man who built the cage got trapped inside it. And that moment proved something far more disturbing than anything the guards did. The environment doesn't just change the people inside it. It changes the people who think they're above it. Here's what kept psychologists up at night. Nobody instructed the guards to be cruel. No script, no reward, no pressure from above. The cruelty built itself because the conditions were engineered, accidentally, to produce exactly that. Power with zero accountability. Anonymity behind mirrored sunglasses. A structure that silently permitted almost anything, and complete absence of anyone willing to say, "This has gone too far." That combination doesn't require evil people. It just requires the right environment and enough silence. Which means the real question was never, "Are you a good person?" The question that actually matters is this: what does the system around you silently allow? By day 6, someone finally saw it clearly. Not Zimbardo, not the guards, not the prisoners. A researcher visiting from outside, someone who hadn't spent days slowly absorbing the atmosphere, walked in, looked around, and within minutes said, "You need to stop this, right now." She could see it because she wasn't inside it. Because it means the most dangerous thing about these environments isn't what they make people do. It's that they make it impossible to see what you're doing. The experiment was designed to run 2 full weeks. It ended in 6 days. The Stanford Prison Experiment has been questioned ever since. Methodology criticized. Participants said they felt pressure to perform their roles. But here's what nobody has ever successfully argued against. Normal people changed faster than anyone predicted. And the same pattern keeps appearing. In real prisons, in war, in institutions, in corporations. Wherever power concentrates, accountability vanishes, and silence becomes the norm. The basement at Stanford wasn't unique. It was just documented. Most people are certain they would have been different. They would have resisted, stayed decent, stayed human. But the Stanford Prison Experiment doesn't ask if you're a good person. It asks something you can't answer comfortably. What kind of person do you become when power shields you, when no one is watching, when the world around you has quietly decided that what you're doing is fine? Because the experiment's most haunting finding wasn't that people became cruel. It was that nobody noticed the moment it happened. Not the guards, not the prisoners, not even the scientist who built the prison. The cruelty didn't arrive like a decision. It arrived like a habit. And by the time anyone recognized it, it already felt completely normal.